Hello friends, welcome to the channel Physics by IITians.
In the last lecture, we have learned about the electrostatic potential, electric field, and we have solved some this kind of questions. This is another very beautiful question also. And this kind of questions can be framed in very different way. That's why I have shared this question. So the answer of this question is Q by 8 epsilon naught. The question is a charge Q is placed at the corner of a cube of side A. The electric flux passing through the cube is how much? Okay, so the electric flux is passing through this cube and the charge is inside the cube. It is located at the corner of a cube. So what will be the answer? Q by 8 epsilon naught. But I am asking you, why is it so? Please comment your answer. So in this video, we shall start the topic, that is conductors and dielectrics means insulators. In this video lecture, I will briefly discuss about conductors. In the next lecture, I shall tell you about the dipole and the interaction between dipoles and all the things. And in after that, I shall tell you about the dielectrics. Okay. So in the previous lectures, we have read the electric field potential due to the static charge distribution in vacuum. Okay, because we are taking 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, so epsilon naught is the permittivity of the free space. But you can ask that it is not vacuum, that we are really in this familiar environment. That we should know that electric field inside the conductors and dielectrics. Okay, so the conductor means everybody know about conductor, that is the substance in which the electrons can move freely, like Au, Ag, Cu. So these are the examples of electric conductors like silver, gold, copper, steel, seawater, and these are the examples of electrical insulators or dielectrics, that is rubber, glass, oil, diamond, dry wood. So we should know what will be the electric fields whenever the electric field inside the conductor, what will be the electric field inside the insulator, how they become modified if we somehow apply static electric field, how it will become modified if we apply dynamic electric field or AC current, DC current, what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so you should question yourself before coming to this kind of lecture. So this is the uh, properties that you should remember. I am not giving you all the details because I assume that you all know these things, basic things, that inside a conductor, the electrostatic field is zero because the free charges have so distributed themselves that the electric field is zero everywhere inside. The electrostatic field is zero inside a conductor. Now, at the surface of a charged conductor, okay, the electrostatic field must be normal to the surface at every point. And in the static situation, therefore, E should have no tangential component. Thus, electrostatic field at the surface of a charged conductor must be normal to the surface at every point. So, if this is a surface, suppose I am drawing here, I am taking a pen. So, you are considering a surface, or you are just considering this kind of surface, and the electric field will be the normal to the surface. Okay, that is, it is not for the uncharged conductor. Okay, okay, because charge is not whenever you are talking about the material or a bulk material, it is uncharged, so overall charge is neutral. But whenever there is a charge something and it is a charged conductor, then inside that conductor there is no charge, but at the outside, I mean at the surface, there should be charge. And what is the direction of the electric field, electrostatic field? It is normal to the surface. Okay, the interior of a conductor can have no exchange charge in the static situation. So there is no charge at any point inside the conductor, and any exchange charge that must reside on the surface. The electrostatic potential is constant throughout the volume of the conductor and has the same value as inside on its surface. Since E equals to 0 inside the conductor and has no tangential component on the surface, so no work is done in moving a small test charge within the conductor and on its surface. Suppose you are moving within a conductor a small charge, it will feel no work done. You don't have to do any work done. Okay, because there is no potential difference between any 2 points inside or on the surface of the conductor. So it is an equipotential surface. So these things you should remember. So friends, here our test series are activated. The subjective test, full length test, all are activated with the minimum cost, and special interview guidance package for cracking integrated PhD and PhD physics interviews are already offered by us. You will get mock interviews. We will guide you personalized way. The concept clarify you. We will clarify your concepts with a minimum cost of 699, and the subscription is valid for 1 year. And the students who have already registered to our test series, they will have to pay only 500 rupees. And the same thing that the subscription, that is, we will be guiding throughout the year. If they cannot successfully get any, we hope that they will get qualified, but somehow within 1 year they cannot, then they again have to pay. And or they can join, they can somehow contact with us for further information. So here friends, you can contact with us on our Telegram channel individually, okay, not on the group. So hope for the best. So let's start the lecture here, continue it. So the electric field strength, the another properties that of the conductor. So I have already told you that this is, suppose this is surface of a conductor, and this is a charged conductor, and the charges are residing on the surface of the conductor, not inside. So you can have a genuine question that what will be the value of that electric field. So if sigma be the surface charge density, okay, you are taking charge density. Why? Because this metal is not discrete set of charges. This is a continuous set of charges because sea of electrons. So you cannot tell them in that is sum over. You have to take the integration. So you have to take the surface charge density. And this is the sigma, that is the surface charge density on the surface. And consider a cylindrical Gaussian surface. And the cross section of the Gaussian surface is delta S. Okay. So E dot n cap delta S, that is sigma delta S by epsilon naught. This is the Gauss law, Q by epsilon naught. And this sigma is what? Sigma is the surface charge density. So E equals to sigma by epsilon naught into n cap. Okay. And mechanical pressure. So pressure can be written as that whenever there is a force, so electrostatic force here, so there should be present a pressure. So what will be the pressure? That is force per unit area. So F divided by delta S n cap, where n cap is the direction of this surface. Okay. So this will become sigma square divided by 2 epsilon naught. So pressure, that is mechanical pressure, is sigma by 2 epsilon naught, or it can be written as P equals to 1 by 2 epsilon naught E naught square. This pressure act on surface normally outward direction. Okay. And suppose we are taking an example to know how to handle the numericals related to this subject, that is conductors. So let's just take an example that a very long hollow metallic cylinder of inner radius R naught and outer radius, that is R naught plus delta R, where delta R is very, very less than R naught, is uniformly filled with surface charge of density rho naught. So what are the electric fields for R less than R naught, for R greater than R naught plus delta R, and R naught plus delta R is greater than R is greater than R naught, means in between them. So what are the surface charge densities on the inner and outer surfaces of the cylinder? The net charge on the cylinder is assumed to be 0. What are the fields and surface charges if the cylinder is grounded? So there are many questions. The part of the let's first know what are the information that you are given. You have been given that, look at this picture. Okay, there is no picture in this question. So you have to visualize that you have a very long hollow metallic cylinder and the inner radius is R naught, outer radius is R naught plus delta R. And delta R is very, very smaller than R naught. And it is uniformly filled with space charge density rho naught. Okay. So what you have to do to find out the electric field for these different regions? What you have to do? Yes, friends, you are right. You have to apply Gauss's law because this is the cylindrical symmetry. Okay. So what you have to use here? You have to use cylindrical coordinates, that is R, phi, Z, with the Z axis along the axis of the cylinder. And you have to apply Gauss law. And it will give you the field intensity for R less than R naught region is rho naught by 2 epsilon naught into R to ER, that is the along R direction, E to R, that is R greater than R naught plus delta R, that is rho naught R naught square divided by 2 R epsilon naught ER cap, that is along R radial direction. And for R that is in between R naught and R naught plus delta R, that is 0. So just apply the Gauss's law, but here you have to be careful that which coordinate you should choose for your Gaussian surface for the calculation of electric field. Now the surface charge density sigma on a conductor is related to the surface electric intensity E, that is E is sigma by epsilon naught. Okay, earlier we have already seen that. So where E in the direction of an outward normal to the conductor. Okay, so that's the surface charge density at R equals to R naught and R equals to R naught plus delta R are respectively that sigma at R naught equals to minus epsilon naught into E1 at R naught, because sigma equals to minus epsilon naught E. So it can be written as minus rho naught R naught by 2, and sigma of R naught plus delta R can be written as epsilon naught into E2, where E2 is at the region R naught plus delta R naught, where at the region E2 is, here we have already find out E1, E2. So you have to put for different regions, you have to put the value for E1, E2. So put the value here, you will get rho naught R naught square by 2 R naught plus delta R. So do you understand how to find out the charge density of a conductor? Just first find out the electric fields using Gauss's law. Then understand in which region you want to find out the charge density, and then use that particular electric field for that particular area. Okay, or for that particular region rather. Okay, so now if the cylinder is grounded, what will happen? If the cylinder is grounded, then the R for R greater than R naught plus delta R, electric field will be 0. So sigma of at this point, that is, or at this region R naught plus delta R will also be 0. Okay, so E and sigma in other regions will be same. Now